not we're not talking shit about Nick right now, so we may as well just go live instead of being like, no, let's wait to talk about that. We're sitting here in
Yeah,
silence, all like, hey, let's wait till we go live. So instead,
right.
let's just
Just
go
go
live
live.
early
Right.
because we know Dune's listening.
Yeah, cool.
And Dune's gonna love this. So you bought iPad Airs that are 2 years old, which means that they're about 5 years obsolete.
Correct. Anyway, so you may be aware Apple decided they're going to move away from. Now what is XSplit doing? Oh, it shows me my background. Isn't
There
that
we go.
nice?
So Apple's moving away from Logic.
Moving away from the Lightning connector. They've probably been getting shit for it for
Of
years.
course they are, because
And
we need
going
a
to
new
US
fucking connector. Oh,
they're going to USB-C, industry standard of the future.
you know what? I think the reason they did that was because like the European Union basically said you will
Pushed
do
them.
this.
Pushed them. Okay, so what was it 6 months ago? I bought an iPhone 13,
Mm-hmm.
and that had a Lightning connector on the phone still.
Okay.
But the cable they gave to me was, thank you for giving the cable without a charger. The cable they give you is a USB-C connector for the charger, which means until I get new chargers that have USB-C, I can't use. I don't even use. I won't be using that cable. Fortunately, I can use an older Lightning cable to charge that phone. Okay.
So they send you a lightning cable that's useless to you.
No, 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 no. The phone itself is Lightning,
Right,
but the
but
other end to plug in the charger is
USB-C.
USB-C.
So
The
if you
cable is not useful right now.
right, so
Until I
they
get
send
a
everyone a cable that's not useful to everyone as is.
correct
I mean,
and not giving you the charger.
there used to be standards that a product would come with the right cord to do
And
what
would
you
come with a
need.
charger. Oh, incidentally, they just crossed into the $3 trillion market cap as a company. A $3 trillion company has decided
You
they
know
can no longer afford giving you a fucking charger with
the
a phone that goes for about $800.
these yahoos get one little thing right by phasing out the floppy drive earlier than everyone else, and then they think that they could just go and phase everything else out and
Okay.
be inventive and
Okay. So iPhone 13, which is relatively new, Lightning on the phone side and USB-C on the cord they give you.
uh-huh.
Eventually, I'll be able to use that cord because everything else is going USB-C. The world will be a happy place eventually. Okay.
I, I
With the iPad Air,
mm-hmm.
which, as we described, was a 2020 device, meaning it's 2 years old, the device itself is USB-C, and the charger, which you do get with it, probably because with iPads that draw so much power, you can't just use some cheap ass charger.
No, and you can't use the USB port on your TV either.
Right, right.
That
Anyway, so they
yeah.
give you the cable, they give you the charger, which is USB on both USB-C on both ends, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Well, I do my backups and updates by plugging it into a computer, which is USB-A. And thank, thank, thank you, Alexa. Alexa, computer. Thank you very much.
You're sticking to calling it computer to the bitter
I
end.
know it. I know it.
On a show where we talk about computers.
And now it's going to play music. Computer. Thank you very much. And I'm very welcome. Okay, where was I before?
Alexa, shut up!
Exactly. Oh my god.
So now you have USB-C to USB-C cable for the iPad Air, which you still can't use to charge anything because you have USB-A on your computer and you have a standard fucking plug outlet on your wall.
It to charge. I want it to transfer data. I want to do backups. I want to do updates, all this kind of stuff. So
you're acting as if an iPad's a useful device that does that type of stuff.
Say that again?
You're acting like an iPad's a useful device that allows you to easily do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you used an iPad? You can't do anything with them.
What are you talking? I do it on this show all the time.
Yeah.
See. Of course, this is the old one still.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the proper adapter to talk to it.
Yeah.
Which, of course, and it has a Lightning to HDMI adapter. So it can plug it into the Elgato, right?
Right.
Which means I will have to buy a new one for USB-C to HDMI if I want to use that.
Oh, man.
And if this thing didn't crash all the time, which is I'm looking at my background screen, then it would be useful. I don't know how much useful this is. I may just have to go through and delete every app that crashes. That might be literally every app.
Yeah. But start with the OS right there.
Right. Well, yeah.
So once you get the right cables for the iPad Air, then you could use that on the Elgato.
Yeah.
Unless you got some sort of I think the newer ones have like screen share software capabilities that you could just do that way without having to just capture the. But I don't know. Dune knows something about that. But anyways, yeah. So
I thought he was going to connect. So
I don't know. Maybe he gave up.
Hey! He left a message. Where's Johnny?
Right.
Johnny's right here.
We were talking about that before the show started. That was the message I talked about before the show started.
Oh! I didn't know you read it from here.
That came in at 7:48.
4:48.
Well, come on, Brian.
By the way, Happy New
East
Year.
Coast. Happy New Year, Brian. Happy New Year. So now, did you make it to midnight?
Yeah. Although we said, who cares about a fucking ball in New York City that's going to be tape delayed? What point is that?
Well, you could have watched it live. I mean, for the real New Year.
At 9 p.m.
Well, that's when the New Year really starts in this country.
Anyway, who cares about that? Anyway, apparently it sucked this year. The regular people that were going to do it weren't there, so they had like second stringers to do it because they didn't have COVID, or I don't know what.
I don't know. Ryan, it was Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, and wait
a minute, isn't he dead?
But you know what?
Or did they record him? Okay, Dick, come on here. We want to do a little thing. Say 2021.
Here's the thing.
Okay, now say 2022. 2022.
No,
and then you splice that in.
My theory is that the producers of Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve are fans of the Dune and Bob show, and they noticed,
I'm sure,
and they observed that the Dune and Bob show doesn't have to have Dune or Bob on it to still be the Dune and Bob show. And so they've continued to call it Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, even though for like the past however many years Dick's been dead, it's Ryan Seacrest's New Year's Rockin' Eve. But they still call it Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. And
what's that saying subtly is, Ryan, your name sucks.
I almost feel bad for the guy, but I think he's doing quite well. I don't think we need to feel too bad for Ryan Seacrest.
Maybe
it's like, damn.
Here's a theory, right? Maybe he wanted too much money to be using his name, so they said, "Fuck you."
Dick Clark is cheaper.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's not demanding any increases. He's been real quiet the past few years with the demands.
The heirs are perfectly willing to get a couple of bucks. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Well, maybe they'll bring back up. Maybe they're working on a hologram.
Instead of watching something that's boring with dead people, we actually sat in front of the Christmas tree.
Okay.
And we had drinks.
Okay.
It doesn't get better than that.
Now, did you put on any kind of countdown as it got closer to the new year, or you relied on your clock?
We do have a clock in the other room that has a chime.
Okay.
And it chimed it off, and we go, okay, that's it. It's there.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, Brian is back. So, because you were not here last week, although we did talk to you last week.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm back or you're back?
We're all back. Because I didn't stream last week.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I wasn't going to stream by myself. And I don't know if Mars is back or not, but he's got the link. And if he's back, he'll be back. And if he's not, he's not. But we'll figure that out.
Dang.
So New Year's typically we have my aunt and uncle typically host the New Year celebration because my aunt and uncle usually spend Christmas with my aunt's relatives. So that was always like a second Christmas gathering that we had at my aunt and uncle's house for New Year's. So that's been a long time tradition. But of course, last year we didn't have that New Year's gathering. So this past summer we had New Year's celebration in summer at my aunt and uncle's beach house because my uncle loves to do all these like lottery type games. He hands out scratchers, but he does like he started with like a coin jar to guess how many coins are in the jar type of game, and the game has grown over the years. Now it involves a Christmas tree with different little ornaments on it with different numbers on them, and you select a number. Yeah, for New Year's.
Oh.
He does all these games, and it's a lot of fun, and we always have whiskey sours. And speaking of whiskey sours, we have Mars in the house.
Yeah. I had.
We serve them with and without bourbon, so you're all set.
Well, for New Year's, I had Martinelli sparkling apple cider because that's what I do.
That's good. That is always cool. a great choice. I actually did not drink any for the New Year's. I did not. I decided less carbs.
What?
Well, yeah. To us, it was kind of like one drink.
Yeah.
Wait, are there carbs in vodka?
No, but I'm not going to slam back shots of vodka while hanging out with my parents. So that's. Anyways.
Why? They might have joined in. I don't know.
They might. No.
Made Jell-O cubes,
I don't know. Anyways, so normally my aunt and uncle would host this. The past few years, we've been hosting it at my cousin's house because they got a bigger dining area, so we could all like eat in the same room instead of be split up into two rooms. But so last year it was postponed to summer, and this year it was on schedule again because we're all vaccinated. We're all, well, most of us are. Talking. Anyways, so things are good. The invite goes out. The group text goes out. We're all set. I'm all planning. I called my dad up like, hey, I'll drive down Friday, crash there for the night, and then Saturday we'll go over to the cousin's house. He's like, great, sure. We got the guest room all lined up. And, my cousin, she works in the medical field in a hospital. And so we get, like, firsthand reports of, what's going on with all the surges and everything. Mm-hmm. And she's like, with the, numbers and, the amount of potential exposure going on, I cannot justify inviting you all over my house at this point in time. So we're postponing the New Year's gathering.
Yeah.
So, which, understandable. Yeah. Bummer, understandable. Of course, now that left me with, I still had made plans to drive down to Jersey Friday and spend Friday night watching the ball drop with my parents. So it's like, does my dad think I'm still driving down, or is he expecting me to cancel? I don't. I wanted to know what he was expecting before I decided if I was still going to go down there or not. Because, like, if he's like, oh, yeah, the thing's canceled, you're probably not coming down, I'd be like, yeah, fine, I'll stay put, do my own thing here. Whereas if he's like, well, we still got a dinner plan, it'd still be nice to see you for the holidays. Because, Christmas we spent with Kristen's family, so I haven't even seen him for the holidays yet. So, it's kind of like, I want to feel out his expectations before I decide what I'm doing. And I'm not good at that with text, so I waited for him to call. So he called, and he goes, yeah, I guess you've heard about the and I'm like, yeah, I got the text. He's like, okay, well, there's still a London broil dinner here. So I'm like, all right, we haven't exchanged gifts. I haven't seen him yet. We'll. So I drove down to Jersey.
Went for the London broil dinner.
Well, actually, I went for the pizza we had on Friday night. Is really why I went, but.
See.
So yeah, I drove down to Jersey to fall asleep on my dad's couch.
You're an easy guy, man. Pizza,
instead of falling asleep on my couch. Oh yeah. Oh hell, I'll go to Jersey for you. Call me up and say, come on down, visit me in Jersey, and pizza's on me. I'm there.
Wow.
I'll hop in the car, drive down right now if there's someone buying pizza when I get there. But
yeah, come on, it's Little Caesars. Come on.
Oh shit, that's right. They do have Little Caesars in Jersey.
See, don't ever say that. There's Little Caesars. No, you honestly, it may be crappy pizza, but $5 for a large pizza, there's nothing wrong with that. Just saying.
And
you're desperate,
you get
you're
a
desperate.
pizza jammed with mushrooms.
No mushrooms.
And we have a listener from Russia who is saying von rent. Okay, I guess we can rent a pizza.
Well,
Oh, okay.
I did say vodka, so
Vodka.
gators.
Vodka. We did say vodka.
Yeah.
Actually, I am still tracking. I actually just broke down and spent the $200 for a Super 8 film developing tank from Russia. And it has actually cleared. Yeah. It has cleared Russia to be released from Russia. So I guess that means it's on a boat or in a plane at this point. So now I'm waiting for the next alert to come in to let me know that it has landed on U.S. soil. So I'm crossing my fingers there.
Okay, we'll see who gets their item first. Okay, I ordered a apple slicer on December 8th. It hasn't been here. It just got shipped. The reason, I'll tell you the reason it didn't get here though.
It was sitting on a boat offshore.
No. It was sitting in an Amazon warehouse in Illinois at the time.
Really? I heard the things that were really getting stuck are offshore in shipping containers.
Gators. Do you remember what happened to that warehouse in Illinois?
That sounds like
there was a tornado and people. It was in there at the time. So things got delayed. That
was the real tragedy. No, it was not.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say...
Never forget, Mars had to wait a whole month to peel his apple.
You know what? Apple slicers are an amazing invention. You put the apple slicer on top and you push it down, it cores it, and slices it for you. There's
that is great.
Nothing wrong with... Yeah, it's awesome.
You know what? Actually... We got one probably a year ago. I don't know, maybe more. We don't use it because it's too hard for my wife to press down.
Did you get the electric one?
No. This is just the manual one. Hardcore.
I had one of those.
Anyway, so she had moi do the apple peeler, slicer, and I did it. Yeah, it's a little hard, but that's not hard for me. So now we know how to use it.
Yeah.
You put it on top, you push it down.
So,
That's really easy.
So Dune writes in, Mars is too good to use a Walmart one.
No, I clicked the Amazon button. It was easier.
Well, I tried the Walmart one, and here's what happens. You push down, it gets halfway down, and it needs a little more elbow grease. And you push down harder, and the outside part continues to go down, and the little thing that cuts the wedges separates from the outside part and stays halfway embedded in the apple. That that was my experience with the.
I don't know. Mine's oxa good. I don't know. I just buy that because they always seem kind of nice. But
yeah. I'm sure you get some good welding joints on the edge there instead of like just little tabs that are bent over.
I'm sure
this
mine are
one
nice.
that you were doing, was this all metal?
It was metal, but it was two parts that one could separate from the other easily.
Wow.
See, now mine, the cutters are all metal, but the rest of the housing and all that kind of stuff is all plastic. So I don't know how long it'll last. A lot of this stuff, you pull something out of the drawer that was your grandmother's, it's 60 years old or whatever, it'll last forever.
Oh, yeah.
This crap you buy today with all this plastic, you kind of go, hey, if I get 2 years out of it, I'll be lucky.
Hey, I still got my great-grandparents' egg beater. Works great.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Although we did get a nice, crank can opener. Now, we use an electric one usually, but we had one can sauerkraut for New Year's. That's what we do.
Ooh.
And that's a tradition. This is the only time we ever have sauerkraut.
You just eat it straight from the can?
I grabbed the mechanical one, and because it was brand new and I probably used 3 times, it was excellent. I mean, there was no effort to open the can at all. Now, of course, if I had more than, make some spaghetti sauce, you got tomato sauce cans, and you got tomato puree, and you got this and that and the other thing for your tomato sauce. I'm going to use the electric one,
Okay.
Well, anyways, we should do. We should open the show because we just want to remind everyone you are tuned in right now to your favorite internet radio show.
Insert title here.
The show that changes names so frequently we just put a placeholder in. We'll fix that in post. One of these years.
And one of these days, we'll actually come up with a permanent name.
Yeah, we will.
And actually, I do have an idea. If people like the idea, say so in the comments. Okay. And that idea is we'll find a recording and maybe even a video that goes with it of one of these old hit or miss gasoline engines. Because they go kind of a put, 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 put. And of course, it would be fitting for our show because our commentary is always hit or miss. Is that a good idea?
So we're going to call the show Hit or Miss?
The Hit or Miss, yep.
It sounds like a game show.
Exactly. Or just hit or miss chatting. Something like that. We still have to work out the details. Maybe somebody have an excellent idea. Like maybe Doom will.
That's not puttering enough.
No.
Chainsaw.
No, that was the first thing I came up with for engine sputtering. I searched for engine sputtering, and I got a bunch of YouTube videos telling me how to fix my car. Is what I thought.
Yes.
I think I had to specify sound
effect. For 40 minutes of just yammering, right? I haven't actually started looking for you. Yeah. Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Something like that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's hit or miss, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, I think the technical name for it is hit and miss.
Hit and miss. So we're gonna hit and miss. So.
And I think what they are is it's technically a 2-stroke engine, but it hits every other one.
It averages out to 1.5. But
something like that.
Like that. Well, gee, that's gonna take some time to go back and edit that into like 5 years worth of episodes.
Oh no, I'm just saying going forward. Well, we could correct all those others in post.
Yeah,
as we always do.
That's a better one.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's even better.
That's it. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the thingy in Willy Wonka, the one that's going through the. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking it sounded like motorboat farts. Oh, that's a good one too.
There's a lot of good options. We'll do some experimenting here. Maybe I could make a compilation of various sputtering sound effects.
And then we could have a vote off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, apparently, I just went plaid. I don't know why Dune thinks I went plaid, but No, I'm wearing a sweater.
Plaid?
No plaid here. It's a sweater T-shirt. Now I did get my booster shot today. I am all set. And,
All right.
it almost didn't happen actually.
They were thinking of closing it due to COVID?
No. Well, here's the thing: is that you can't get your a COVID shot if you might have COVID or suspect you might have COVID or have been exposed to COVID.
Scares.
So no. Well, it didn't happen. It almost happened. So I went down to visit, my dad and stepmom, for New Year's. And then while I was down there, I had gifts for my niece and nephew. So I gave my sister a call while I was down there and said, hey, tomorrow, on my way back home, or if I swing by your place, little visit, I got gifts for the kids. And my sister said, yeah, sure, come over, And so, she was like, and my nephew's working a job now at an auto parts store. I forget if it's the one that I have a feud with or the one I don't have a feud with, but it's one of those two. it's
AutoZone, right?
Advanced AutoZone. We'll just say he works for Advanced AutoZone, and so he was like, oh, he won't get home. Yeah, sure. Napa, Advanced AutoZone, O'Reilly's. They have everything. But anyways, so she's like, yeah, he doesn't get home till like 5 p.m. I'm like, all right, well, we'll have our London broiled dinner and we'll, mosey on over there for 5-ish. And I was planning on getting there like early before he got there because, I kind of wanted to get the gifts, get the visit in and get on the road because I have, like a 5-hour drive back here from there. But I was running a little behind, so it's like already past 5 o'clock when we get everything in the car and get ready to go. And so I text her, said, all right, on my way now. She goes, oh, great, see you soon. And I start driving, and I'm about 10 minutes into the drive there, and my phone starts ringing, and she's calling me. And I'm like, well, she knows I'm driving there, so she must need to call me for some reason that she feels is important to talk to me before I get there. Right. So I look for a parking lot, and I pull into it, and I call her back. And it turns out my nephew had gotten notification from his workplace that he was exposed to COVID last Thursday.
Oh.
And so she's like, I just wanted to see how you feel about that. And I said, well, tell you what, why don't I, we're halfway there. Why don't I swing by there and leave the gifts? And plus my stepmom had flowers that she wanted me to bring her. And we'll do the social distance exchange where I'll, put the things down. I'll step away 6 feet.
You'll
come
stand
over
out
6
in
feet.
the snow.
It was rainy. It was very rainy.
Stand out in the rain. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was standing in the rain with a mask on. She was standing out in the doorway underneath the little entryway with the mask on. But I didn't mind sitting in the rain because it was just nice to see my sister and say hi.
Yeah.
And we dropped the stuff off.
And hey, the umbrella was invented, right?
Right. Well, yeah. And I guess I could have grabbed that, but I didn't. But because it was only a few moments. But it's water. I'm not going to melt. I'm not a witch. So
that's right. We tested that. I don't melt in water, so I can handle a little rain. so, anyways, if anything, a little water makes you laugh, right?
And so I'm like, because if I went there and visited. And then I find out later that he was exposed to COVID. That means that I'm potentially exposed to COVID, and then I can't get my booster until like I quarantine for a few weeks.
Now, did your nephew, right?
Yeah.
Did he get tested?
He tested positive today, or yesterday, or whatever. Yeah. So it turns out, yes, he got it. He felt a little sick yesterday. He's feeling better today. So it seems to be
in fact, when he
mild.
Got home from work with that report, did they put him into a quarantine room?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't really go into it. But of course, being that he found out on Saturday that he was exposed on Thursday, I'm thinking it's I'm pretty late. as far as I was concerned, the whole family's been exposed to COVID. So I was like, I'll wave to you 6 feet away on the front steps and put the stuff in your garage, and then you can come over after I back away. And my sister, she's cool with that. She works with healthcare related stuff too. Sure. So she's, I was surprised she even gave me the option to come over. Like, she wasn't like, don't come over. She was like, I just wanted to check how you feel about that. And I'm like, well, I feel that we should do a socially distanced drop off is how I feel.
No, that's a good plan.
Yeah. So, but like
actually, when we were going to our Christmas dinner with all the exes, we had a little concern because suddenly we get the word that we're going to have 3 other people there, and we didn't know them. They were just neighbors. We didn't know what their condition was, but we did get confirmation from the cousin that, they were all vaccinated and they were cool. So,
well, the thing is that it still spreads between vaccinated people.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's something. What do you do? But that's
at least,
not a whole lot.
They've made some effort, right? To be
right.
safe.
I mean, because
vaccinated, that's a help.
Heck, I could catch it at the grocery store. I mean, because
absolutely,
they say stay 6 feet away from me in the grocery store. People are sneaking by me in the aisles. I don't know who that person is.
This one, my wife was at the supermarket, and this lady kind of bumps up real close. She says, "Oh well, we're all vaccinated, right?" No,
but it's still spreading around. That's the thing. And this Omicron is more infectious. Apparently, it's less severe, but more infectious. So, it's like, well, but it is definitely surging the hospitals, and that's the real problem here. Is that if our hospitals get overwhelmed with that, then we have other serious things. Like if I have a heart attack and I get brought into the hospital and they're overwhelmed with things, that's bad for me. That's bad for anyone that gets brought in for any reason.
I still don't know why they don't set up, there's schools that are not running, even still. Can't they get some auditorium or some open space to be a COVID center?
I don't think it's a space issue so much as a manpower issue. I mean, there's space issues, there's manpower issues, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of, and I would imagine.
And don't we have a National Guard?
Here's the thing. Come on. For all I know, these conversations are happening. I would hope that people that are smarter than me are already working on things for this. But the fact of the matter is, our current system is getting overwhelmed.
I'm not so sure that there are people working on it and they're smarter than you.
I didn't say all of them are working on it and all of them are smarter than me, but there are at least some people smarter than me that are making efforts to improve this situation.
In charge, I don't think are smarter than you.
I think that varies from person to person.
Okay, what did Modpro say? Schools closed again here. See.
Until January 17th. Yeah. Well, and that.
And I think, in fact, I think that's common is that schools are closing from, like 10 to 14 days to see what's next,
Yeah, but I don't know if that's long enough for any real change,
Well, the hope is that if we do kind of do a soft lockdown, that the spread will stop and that curve goes from straight up back down to a small level.
Brian, if there's one thing we've proved as a country, it's that we don't do lockdowns right, and we haven't stopped the spread of any fucking thing.
Sure.
I mean, that the only thing.
Why do I always get a flu shot every year? Oh, that's right, because the flu would fly through here.
Yeah. I got my flu shot and my booster shot today at the same time, so I got 2 Band-Aids on my arm.
Right.
Yeah.
See, actually, when the flu shot came out, we did that first, wait a few weeks, and then got the second.
Oh.
Well,
I
looked in. I used to get my flu shot at work because at work they would basically have a day that say, "Hey, flu shots today. Fill out a form," and I'd be like, "Oh, perfect," because I I don't know what I'm going to. The flu shot was not lining up with my annual visit to the doctor's office.
Sure.
So. But now that I'm remote, that's not an option now. So I'm just like, I think I forgot to get one last year.
So Gators, my mom was a director of nursing at a nursing home. and they would always have flu shots every year during time. So she would always keep a couple in her freezer. And so she goes, well, if you need a flu shot, I have them in the freezer for you. And I'm like, no, stay away. I don't need flu shot. I haven't gotten one in 35, 40 years. So 35 years.
Were they the right one? Because they change every
Yeah,
year.
yeah. No.
And sometimes
it's right from the nursing home. They give their residents that flu shot.
Sometimes they'll come out with the flu shot and they give you the wrong. They're essentially picked the wrong one because they're only guessing.
Right. Yeah. I think
apparently this year's is a wrong guess year.
Oh, I don't know. I don't get flu shots. So, I got my COVID stuff. But.
I think due to COVID.
You know why I get a flu shot, Mars? You know why I get a flu shot?
So you can get sick off the flu shot?
Well, that has happened. I said, damn, I got the flu.
Never had this problem.
They're like, hey, look at this flu.
But the reason,
you want some of this in your arm?
But
Enjoy.
it was mild symptoms, and it lasted a few days.
No, I'm
now the reason why I do get the flu shot, I have had the fucking flu, and would be put me in bed for a week.
Yeah, my sister actually never got the flu shot, and 1 year she was in bed for like 3 weeks, and she said, yeah, no more.
So Mars, what's your aversion to the flu shot? Just that you don't need it,
I don't need it. No. And remember, I worked at a college, which means I would meet 3,000 or 4,000 students a day.
Sure.
I mean, I'd see that many people. My immune system was really strong. I never got flu shots, and I'm around sickies that are hawking loogies on keyboards all day, whatever. Yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, that's nice.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. My immune system's pretty good too. I don't really get all that
COVID. I got all three.
In fact, the time I got sick, I was at college and eating dorm food.
That's probably it. Probably wasn't the flu,
which should have been really good for my immune system.
It would keep it on its toes for sure. Yeah. I mean, as Steve-O has been known to say, I like to keep my immune system on its toes, but.
What about Steve, that guy who eats the rations from like 1942? That guy's awesome, except I think he had botulism or something one time or something.
That'll do it.
Damn it.
Yeah, but he came back at it. It's all right. He still does videos. So,
anyways, I finally started catching up on my box sets because I was flipping through things to completely just change the topic and go plaid. Because, I don't know, I have nothing more to say about botulism. But,
botulism is a hilarious subject. But
I pretty much the story, I got my shot, I'm all set, and now I'm allowed to go into the office again. But, anyways, I bought they put out a 50th anniversary edition of the soundtrack album for Frank Zappa's 200 Motels. And it's an ultra deluxe box. It comes with 6 CDs. It's got the original album remastered. It's got a bunch of bonus tracks and alternate takes and extra things. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so fun to digest. And I'm ripping all the discs and putting them on my media server, and I'm looking them over. And I realize, you know what? All this material would make much more sense if it was in the context of understanding the movie 200 Motels. Which I'm a little sheepishly have to admit I've not yet watched the movie 200 Motels. In my defense, though, it's really not been properly reissued. So we've got this great box set, deluxe edition of the soundtrack, but the movie itself, it was reissued on DVD some years ago, but the Zappa Family Trust does not own the rights to the movie. MGM does, so...
They should just stick it in the box set of your stuff.
Well, they don't have the rights to do that, though. I mean, it was tricky. It was tricky for them to get the rights just to the soundtrack album, because that's a United Artists album, is what it is, which is why that album has been out of print for so long, because anytime... the Zappa Family Trust reissues that album, they have to negotiate a license, which usually is only for a period of time. So I'm really glad I had my Ryko CD set of it, because I bought it when it was still in print, and then it went out of print. And you couldn't find it anywhere.
Wait, is that how you say it? Is Ryko? R-I-C-O-H?
Or no, R-Y-K-O.
Okay.
That was the reissue label that previously owned Zappa's catalog before the Zappa Family Trust sued them to wrestle it away from them and bring it over to Universal, which has the current issuing of his catalog. Anyways, so I bought that, and I'm like, I really need to watch a movie. So I had to go research what's the best way to watch a movie, 200 Motels.
YouTube.
And well, there was a DVD that was issued some years ago, but they cropped it badly. So it's got this widescreen cropping where I guess the original footage was filmed in full screen. But back in the 90s, there was a Laserdisc version that had the full screen version. So I found a completely legit torrent.
You have an LD player?
No, I considered that for a moment. No, I found someone had converted the Laserdisc to DVD, and I obtained a DVD through completely legit means. So that's code for I did not obtain it by legit means.
Well, if you own the LD, Gators, if you own the LD, it's just a backup copy.
I bought the deluxe edition of the soundtrack. Back off. That's my message to the industry. It's like, dude, you got my money. Let me have this download. As Dune likes to remind me, I'm keeping an off-site backup for the person that went to the trouble to back up his Laserdisc to a DVD. Because you always want to have an extra backup to the backup that's kept off-site. And that's where I come in. I provide this free service. Now, here's the thing with Laserdisc. You have to flip it over halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So the person that authored the DVD from the Laserdisc did not join the two halves into one full file when authoring the DVD. He created two separate files for the DVD.
That's fine.
And then he authored them into the DVD and set the DVD to automatically start playing the second half after the first half got to the end.
Chapter. That's fine.
Which means that when you get to that point, the screen blinks black for a moment, so you get some extra black frames of the DVD. And they don't charge extra for those black frames. Those are free black frames. And I've found today it is very hard to make a few stray black frames disappear from a fucking DVD rip.
Was it AVI or is it a...
Well, being that I ripped
MPEG?
it from... Well, DVD is an MPEG-based format.
Yeah.
And MPEG is not really meant for being a source to edit. It's meant to be a source that you end with. So when you edit a DVD rip, you're editing a format that is not ideal for editing. That doesn't mean it can't be done. That doesn't mean that software shouldn't be able to handle it. It should be. But it does present certain challenges on the technical end. But what really, really frustrated me today was I got to the point where, because ideally, I'd like to rip these two MPEGs, trim the edges without altering the rest of the data, and join the two trimmed files together so that I don't have to convert anything. I don't have to re-render anything. I don't have to process this data any. The data as it was is perfectly fine. I just want to get rid of these three fucking black frames.
Windows Movie Maker, right?
Sony Vegas is my go-to.
Yeah.
I absolutely... I have said many times about many different softwares that it is the absolute worst software I have ever had the misfortune of using. And so that phrase has lost all meaning with me because I think I have called everything the worst software I have ever had.
What about Notepad? Is that the worst software ever?
No, Notepad's one of the few exceptions to the rule. Calculators.
Now it has dark mode in it, though.
Calculator's pretty good. I like Calculator. That is
it's basic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you screw that up?
Actually, I could go through a list of a lot of software that I love and have nothing but good things to say about.
Winamp is awesome.
But there are way more softwares I have bad things to say about than those I have good things to say about. Yeah. And Sony. So if you were to come up to me at a random moment and say, off the top of your head right now, if you had to pick one software that's the worst software you ever had to use, what would it be? I would probably go to Sony Vegas. And not necessarily because it really is the worst, but because it's the one that I've had the most problems with, or I've spent the most time fighting. So
Am I allowed to say Mac OS 10?
damn it, I have a new answer. 5 and 2 running in. I think I have OE that will do all of that.
Outlook
OE?
Express? Oh, I love Outlook Express. That was a great software. That was a great Windows.
Outlook
that was great.
Express is the best video editing software I have
Yes.
ever used. You just send the files as attachments, and you join the attachments together, and you've edited your video.
Gators, I have to say, I miss Outlook Express. I really enjoyed that software. It was a great software.
Dune writes in, what is it? MP what?
That's probably MPEG 4.
MPEG 2. No, is what DVD uses MPEG 2, I'm pretty sure. Or
but when you ripped it, did you rip it as H.264 or what do you rip it as?
I ripped the raw MPEG right off the DVD. In fact, when I rip a DVD, if I rip a DVD as is and I don't need to alter it any, I'll use make MKV, which will just rip the MPEG as is into MKV files, which just basically takes it and wraps it in a new container. No problem. But if I'm going to edit a DVD rip, I will use DVD VOB to MPEG. Because VOB is the type of file that the MPEG is stored in the DVD, and it's usually split into a few different VOB files, because VOB files can only be so large. So you have to, if you're going to get them back, and you could just copy a VOB file off of a video TS folder. You may have to decrypt it if it's a commercial DVD. This one wasn't a commercial DVD, so I didn't have to decrypt. But you just copy the VOB file, and VLC will play it. You could rename the extension to MPEG, and you got an MPEG. But DVD VOB to MPEG is a pretty simple app that'll basically just rip and rejoin the separate VOB files into a new MPEG file that's all joined. But I had two MPEG files with free bonus black frames in between. So I laid them out in Vegas Pro, and I trimmed the extra frames off the end of the first file. I trimmed the extra frames at the beginning of the second file. I, butt them up together, and I double check it, and I triple check it, and I check it again, and I check it backwards. And then I stood on my head and I checked it. And then I went through all the settings that it was originally rendered to, and I went to re-render it and picked all the same settings, and I rendered it to a new big MPEG properly joined with my black frames cut off, and I still got a fucking black frame in the middle of it. And I took the render and I laid it out in my project on a separate track underneath the original project that rendered this file, which means that the rendered file should line up perfectly frame for frame with the project. And about 17 minutes in, the frame kind of drifts by one. And I can't figure out for the life of me why Sony fucking Vegas always fucking does this. Why doesn't it render it perfect frame for frame? Why is it always fucking with my fucking frames? And I could never, I have ranted about this on the Video Help forums at great length multiple times. I'm on my second account on the Video Help forum because they banned the first one because of my ranting.
Never mind.
And this rant has been brought to you by PlayStation, by the way.
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yes.
So
that was the ad I had when I got into
Oh.
I got into the thing so I could post a
yeah.
post the chat.
So I tried using Avid Mux. Avid Mux is a common free app that is talked about for making some basic edits or trims to an MPEG file, and then join them together with there's a common free MKV maker that you can join files together into an MKV container. I got a glitch there, and I think the reason why I got a glitch with the simple apps is because MPEGs rely on keyframes. And so if you really want to get a clean edit between MPEGs, you have to cut it on the keyframes. Otherwise, you're going to get a glitch because it's trying to play from a point with a missing keyframe if you cut that out. So that's why I didn't try that next. I thought I was going to have to re-render it to get it to work right, but the re-render failed. So I was finally. I remembered there's an article out there that will explain to you in detail, step by step, how to take a DVD set of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and rip it and render it and re-render it into a better looking version of Star Trek Deep Space Nine because they fucked up the DVD issue, according to a lot of people out there. And so I kind of used that guide and some of the steps from that guide to just kind of, get a good rip and a good, because there's another video software called DG Index that builds an index from your file, and then you import that into another software called StackSrip. And so once I got into StackSrip, and from there I even had the ability to kind of go in and trim my frames and output it. And like 5 minutes before we start this show, I had my output file from that. And Brian was here and I was like, oh my God, it worked. And I would show it to you. But unfortunately, the Laserdisc break of 200 Motels happens right in the scene when there's a topless girl on frame. So I totally would show you that. But
Oh, so the frame was basically there for censorship. I see.
No. The tits were still on the DVD version, even with the cropping. So they did not crop the tits out on the DVD.
Wow.
So anyways,
Now
now
we got the real reason Gators won in the movie.
I didn't even know there were tits in it till I started watching the download, and I go to the layer break there, and I'm like, oh my God, there's tits in this movie. This is great.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So now I am all set to watch 200 Motels, so I can have some context to listen to the Ultra Deluxe CD, 6 CD box set of the 200 Motel soundtrack. So,
Okay.
now, Brian, how are you doing with the Grand Theft Auto introduction? Have you gotten past the first mission?
No, I still suck at it.
So you still can't even get to the online.
I did end up with my car upside down. That would be entertaining.
But were you able to join online?
No.
So you still have to.
You gotta finish
No,
the
I
little
keep
thing
losing.
at the beginning.
I'm at the deal where there's 2 cars there, and you get to choose the car you want.
Right.
Wait.
And they make the same comments.
Well, all you have to do is get the car to the destination. That's all you have to do. I don't think there's even a time limit.
But like I say, I'm upside down, or it decides that I've lost the guy.
Well, you have to follow the guy.
Yes. But see, the thing at the beginning, he zips past these other cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's slow asshole in front of you.
Right.
You're kind of stuck.
Well, you could use the GPS if you lose him on the road.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's a dot on the GPS, so there are...
I understand that. But
Wait, this is Grand Theft Auto. Can't you just sideswipe the person in front of you and go faster?
oh, yeah, of course.
Isn't that part of it?
But that may also be part of the why I was upside down that one time.
Right. You tried that strategy, and that also did not. So we need to get you past this. Is what we need to do.
I need to work on
There
it.
needs to be a tutorial session one day.
So we went over how to share your screen. Right. So
Yeah.
so I think you need to start up your Grand Theft Auto because we can't do anything online until we get you to the point that you can go online. So we have to get you past this mission. And we're going to do it live right here, I think, is what we're going to do. So so we'll see if that works or if that crashes your computer. But you got a pretty good gaming computer, so you should be fine. Because I think I showed you how to screen share, right? And you know how to make it break out into a window, right? You're looking at me funny.
Screen share. I forget how to just.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this one step at a time. Do you know how to get Grand Theft Auto 5 to open in a window instead of full screen?
No.
Okay. Well, that's that. Good. Let me see if I remember how to do that. I know it's somewhere in the settings, so we'll do this together. And my Steam wants to update, because of course it does. And now Mars, do you video game any? I mean, I know Liam is popular in the blind video gaming community, and I don't know how much you follow any of that. Or did we lose Mars?
He's still there, right? I think.
Well, he's not saying anything. Oh, broke up there.
Are you still there, Johnny?
I am here. I think I'm here.
Can you still see me?
I do still see you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Wow.
I hear you. I hear you. I can hear you.
Are you still there?
Yes, but I think you're glitching out.
I executed Rocket and well, I should say
Rockstar.
Rockstar. Well, I executed Grand Theft. It launched Rockstar, and then I would hear from you. So it really hogs the fucking system.
So that might be an issue. Your machine might not like running Grand Theft Auto and streaming at the same time.
Well, I think there'll be a difference also if you're already connected, and then I mean, into the game, and then go. Because I think I thought I set up a shared screen with it.
Oh, that's right. You were playing it when you were trying to.
Maybe I'll just try it again.
Okay.
And meanwhile, Mars, are you there?
I am now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had to do some laundry. Sorry.
Now we need to get Mars in
okay.
on this too at some point.
What
you
am I
guys
doing?
talk while I launch the game.
Wait,
Okay.
Video games?
Glitching out. Yeah, little Grand Theft Auto, just for Grand.
Should I be the one driving a car? I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
You really think I'll make it past
Well,
Brian?
at this point, you'll watch.
Well, oh no!
Thanks, Brian.
That was.
Yeah, right.
Mars. We all know you've driven a car.
Yeah, I have.
This has been established on this show. You have absolutely driven a car.
I have, yeah.
And apparently it's quite a common thing among blind people to drive cars.
Oh, I took a car with the Safeway or with the Lucky's, grabbed some soda in the middle of the night and came back.
I didn't. So you driven a car on the road?
Yeah. Across the street, yeah.
Across the street.
Yeah. No. It was a Chevette. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was thirsty for some soda, so I took my sister's Chevette, drove across the street with the Lucky's, grabbed the 24-pack, and drove back home. I could see out of one eye still.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a
I know.
license, but they don't need that, do you?
Well, I'm not the police, so I don't care.
I didn't care. I didn't crash the car. I parked in between the two lines. I parked back in the driveway. I didn't get caught. My sisters didn't know. They still don't know. We won't talk about that. And it was a Chevette, so who cares? Right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fine with me. I just need to figure out why. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I have just set my graphics to be in a window. And that way, hopefully Brian can figure out.
Have you set them to 4K?
No, actually, my display is at 1080p, which is fine for me. I don't need 1080p. I feel is plenty. Now,
even my screen's a 4K screen on my laptop.
Well, yeah. Now Brian is back in the room.
Oh, Brian, you're back. With no audio. Oh, there he is.
Oh. Now we did this 2 weeks ago.
You did, and he figured it out at the end.
We totally did this. Now, I don't know about the screen share, but you should be at least be able to play and stream at the same time.
I think his bandwidth is sucky. That's part of the problem. Because Brian can't talk now. He's.
Well, no, but his bandwidth is fine when he doesn't have the thing open. So clearly, running the program is bottlenecking something.
Brian needs more RAM.
Well, it could be the GPU.
Well, he's got a gaming laptop. He's probably got.
Wait, are you running the Elgato on the same computer that you're trying to run Grand Theft Auto on?
Probably.
Because the Elgato is a resource hog.
But that's how it streams out, though, right? To everything.
Well, no, he's using the Elgato to capture his iPad to the green screen background.
What?
His iPad's...
Wow, that's something people usually don't do with an Elgato. They're usually using it, especially on Twitch. They're usually using it to stream their games to Twitch.
Exactly.
Through
But
OBS
also,
or something, right? Or
but also, they don't even make that model, the Elgato, anymore. And I have like a similar model to his, and I know that it's a fucking resource hog.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, my laptop wouldn't handle it. It'd say on you.
Brian, I think I know what might be going on.
Yeah.
The Elgato is a resource hog.
Yeah, that's right. Piece of shit. That's right.
So I would try this.
Disconnect it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Well,
just.
in fact, as it is, I go, oh yeah, I don't have any open USB ports open, so getting rid of the Elgato would be the way to fix that.
Right, which means you could either share the window
Yeah.
to
From
StreamYard,
StreamYard,
or you could capture the window in XSplit and put it on your green screen.
Yeah, I was
If
gonna say,
you-
he can have background music. He can have background him in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could try to make yourself in the car or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Probably not. It probably won't work that well, but it would be
Right.
fun. It'd be a floating head over the car.
So
is,
Plan B will be
disconnect the Elgato and then try to get Grand Theft.
Okay.
Let's try to get
Let's
Grand
do-
Theft Auto running to start with.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
let's
have
get rid of Elgato.
I don't have
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto installed. I'm sorry. I don't have a Steam account.
Well, we could get you one.
Well, that's
Oh, I can make a Steam account. That's not hard.
Oh, I know a guy that can get you hooked up with a Steam account. He can get you one for free.
You know what? I got a 9-night click the little button, install Steam, and then create an account. It's really easy to do. I'm sure it's not hard.
Yeah, no, I know. It's that's the joke. It's free for everyone. Now Tomcat said a while ago loves the setup. Thank you. I love the setup myself. Yeah.
it's funny. You can hear me still, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So my free screen is frozen because it still thinks I'm going to XSplit, which I closed.
Oh, you closed XSplit. I thought you were just going to disconnect the Elgato. You're just going to use the webcam
Yeah.
without the XSplit.
Yeah. But I have to fix that.
You have to change the webcam.
Let's see. Leave.
I got to say, Brian, your ventriloquism act is really improving.
Actually, you don't
Isn't that
have to.
fantastic?
Brian, you
That
just go to the
is.
settings in that little window and just change your thing.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
I'm
he's totally doing
That's
that.
all I'm doing.
Totally doing that.
Ooh.
There we go.
There we go. And we'll just stick with green screen for
now.
screen for now.
I
My green
just
screen.
don't do anything.
Yeah. There it is.
Okay, now I'll explode on.
Brian, did you remember to charge your gamepad?
What?
Did you remember to charge your gamepad? Your controller.
Charger?
Yeah, did you charge it?
No. Well, no. It plugs in into USB,
Oh,
and
do you
it's
have the
actually
old
it's
school
working.
one?
What?
You have the old school one, huh? You have the old one.
Yeah, without the batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you put in AA batteries,
Oh. Okay.
which will not charge if you're plugged in.
Do you have NiCad batteries in it, or do you have just like Duracells?
Oh, just Duracells. Yeah.
Well, they're not going to charge if you use just Duracell, though.
It's not going to charge anyway.
Oh.
This is
Okay.
the old Xbox One controller,
Oh.
which
Right.
does not know how to charge batteries.
Oh,
They
well.
did not think of that.
No, they only know how to charge them. Oh, it doesn't have a built-in battery to charge?
No. You put in AA batteries. So you put in
Oh,
AA
wow.
alkaline. And
Wow.
when it's plugged into USB, I believe that the batteries do nothing.
That is so odd because PlayStation always had
This is
rechargeable
Xbox,
batteries
man.
built in.
He's got
when-
an Xbox.
This is
But-
Xbox.
but
Microsoft, they think they'll,
You,
you know,
you'd think
And,
they
you
would
know,
keep
Xbox,
up
they
with the
never-
competition, though.
you would think.
You would think.
No, that's why they go, oh, we're getting so many bitches that we don't have rechargeable that they came up with a new one.
You know what's
A new
annoying
version
about
that is-
you know what's annoying about rechargeable batteries?
what?
They take a what is it, a higher voltage to charge than the battery actually outputs.
Well, that's how that works. I mean,
Right. But
E equals MC squared means that you lose energy or something.
something, yeah, no, but but
Dumbass physics.
but there's a time factor there. No, well, here's why this is annoying, right? Because my beard trimmer. Remember, I replaced the charging port for my power cable on the beard trimmer, and the new charging port I put in there was not as water resistant as the one that was originally built in there, so it already corroded. So my beard trimmer stopped charging again. So I decided, fuck this. I'll just hardwire it and just have a cable always coming out the bottom of it. I'm never taking it outside of the bathroom anyways. So I opened it up and I thought to myself, well, and the thing is that the beard trimmer will not run and charge the battery at the same time. So even if it's plugged into power, if the battery isn't charged, it won't work. So I'm like, if I'm going to hardwire it, why the hell do I need a battery? It's always going to be plugged in. So I thought it would be much more convenient to connect the power cord directly to the power terminals rather than to the battery charging terminals. But I didn't do that. This is not a story about me starting a fire. This is a story about me
I was
finding...
gonna say, man, did you start a fire, Gators?
No.
There's no resistance on that. You're gonna push it all at once. Now, the beard trimmer for about 38 seconds will trim a lot of beard, and then it will go away.
I took my voltmeter. I measured that my 5-volt AC to DC adapter outputs 7 volts. I guess that's within
so
spec.
it's Chinese, okay. Yeah.
And I measured that the battery outputs like 2.4 volt. And so I realized, no, if I put the 7 volts on these terminals that are set to get 2.4 volts, that might be a little bit more than it wants. And that might burn out the motor. So I best not do that. So now I have a hardwired beard trimmer that's always plugged in to recharge a battery.
It's like I've seen those little the battery powered toothbrushes that take like 2 AA batteries or something.
Yeah.
People mod them and they're sitting there putting 9 volts on those things. You don't want that near your teeth, by the way, because they'll go for a little while. The motor will actually go for a little while, but man, it's like it's like a hummingbird. You're like, no, you don't. No, unless you're like degrouting some tile or something, you don't want to use that.
Yeah. That'll if it degrouts tile, it'll certainly get the crud out from between your teeth. So
And your teeth.
Yeah, don't worry about that gum line. It'll wipe it clean right off of your mouth.
We know you used to have those, but not now.
Now, Dune says that my camera is frozen, yet I am staring at my camera preview moving. Now, Mars, do you have any working vision today?
No.
Okay,
But
Brian.
my camera, you know what? My camera is not frozen.
No, it's not. Now, Brian, can you see me?
But you do quit. Yes, that's what I was trying to do. This is just hammering my machine.
The Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
And this is the same machine we used it on last
Yeah.
time.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's downloading a patch.
I probably...
Huh.
I don't know. It was spinning on the startup screen, so it was probably doing something nasty, gnarly. probably.
Oh.
Anyway, so we'll have to do that at some other time, I think.
Okay. All
To
right. Well,
heck with it.
we'll have to. Maybe we'll schedule a weekend stream to play around or something.
Well, what I'll do is
Oh.
before the show, I'll start it up. So if it is like he suggests, updating itself or whatever, hammering the network, because it was hammering the network.
Hey,
Okay.
Gators. It could be marriage consoling
No.
with Gators and Brian.
No, not no. Well, if we brought our wives along,
Right. Or the secret would get out that Brian and Johnny are married.
I didn't say anything, Gators. I didn't say a word, did I? I just made a joke. Brian went with it.
My first impulse was to say words to the effect that but that's not true. But what was going to come out was, but that's not a secret. And I realized that came out completely wrong.
No.
It's not a secret because it's not true. It's what I mean by that. This is why it's good to have interruptions to give you a little moment before you say the
Mars,
thing.
Johnny may know this, but Mars, just so you know, I went to Airport Appliance, which is just down the street from
Oh yeah, it's right over here. Yeah.
at lunchtime with my pal Neil, quote unquote Neil.
Oh wait, is he the Hummel? Is he the guy that does the Hummel figurines?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you've met him.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Anyway, so we were at Airport Appliances. He was looking for, I forget, a refrigerator, an oven, or something or other, whatever.
You know, one heats, one freezes.
Oh, this is an old story because you don't live there.
And the sales guy was talking to us like we were a couple.
Oh, that's adorable.
You know, we did not try to correct him or anything. It was just.
Yeah, I could see that.
Fine. That's fine.
I could see that.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
Brian.
Yeah.
Do you have Hummel figurines in your studio?
I do not have. No, I take it back. My wife has a Hummel figurine someplace. It's not mine.
It was a gift from Neil.
No.
It might have been.
It was her mother's.
Oh,
and she had a big collection, I think, of 2.
A big collection of 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think her mom decided, oh, yes, I'm going to collect these. She bought 2 and realized, what the fuck is this for?
You know, it's like my mom got into porcelain dolls for a brief period of time.
That was creepy.
Well, it all started when there was a porcelain doll, because porcelain dolls all have names.
Oh,
and they come with a name.
Like
you
the
don't
like the Cabbage Patch Kids.
So
that goes way back.
So at some point they manufactured a porcelain doll named Amanda, which my youngest sister is named Amanda, and so my mom bought the Amanda doll, and
how sweet!
And they advertised this thing on TV, and so and she put it in the living room, and I mean it came with a little set of blocks and a little blanket it sat on, and then at some point I think she was reading a magazine in a doctor's office waiting room, and she came across an ad for a Stephanie doll, which my other sister is Stephanie. So she ordered the Stephanie doll. Well, she wasn't sure if it was still going to be in stock or not because it was, like a half-year-old magazine. And she filled out the form and she mailed it in. And sure enough, not only did they send her a Stephanie doll, but they sent her an advertisement that the Stephanie doll is part of a set of 4 Stephanie dolls. And so that's how we ended up with 4 Stephanie dolls.
Why do you need 4 of them, though?
Well, because they had different themes. It was like birthday Stephanie and Christmas time Stephanie, and I forget what the 4th one was.
So did Amanda say, wait a minute, I need to get my other ones?
We didn't care about that shit. In fact, I don't think a word was said about the lack of a Greg or a Jonathan doll.
There was no doll?
So, yeah, but you're guys, though, right? I want a G.I. G.I. Jonathan doll, right?
They make male dolls. They do make, and I know this because I went to I went to a therapist that had a Michael doll that looked very similar to the Amanda doll, but in male form.
Oh, see,
or Matthew, I think it
I
was
don't know
named.
if you've seen Toys That Built America or whatever it is on History Channel. They went through the history of Barbie and stuff like that, and the thing that Mattel goofed up when they came out with Barbie is they only had the thing that was different is Barbie was not a baby. It's a
Right.
teenager, whatever, right? A real live girl.
Yeah.
And what they missed is they didn't until much later come up with a Ken. But guys are not going to collect Ken.
No,
right?
no.
Their competitor decide, hey, Mattel is into a great thing, but they forgot what the boys want. So they invented the action figure G.I. Joe. And,
Well, there's a whole
went nuts for
story
that.
behind that.
course
But
So-
yeah.
So, if you guys are interested, on Netflix, there's a series called The Toys That Made Us, and there's 3 seasons, and it's all about those toys and all of the history and
Yeah.
about each one of those toys. Like they did a Transformers
Yeah.
one and Star Wars toys, and so
Yeah.
go watch those. Not right now. Wait for an hour
Now-
and a half or
now-
something. But
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now Dune writes in, you had that creepy buddy thing. No, that was our cousins.
the My Buddy and the kid sister.
Basically, my cousins were living at the lake house for a period of time due to changes in homes and spouses and things like that. And
the
so,
lake house is pretty good.
oh yeah, no, I would.
So as opposed to being homeless, they were at the lake house.
They were at the lake house for a period of time, and I think that was when my cousin's my buddy doll got it. Like he brought it with him, and by the time they left the lake house, he didn't want it anymore, and so it's just kind of been permanently kept there. And then when we would go to the lake house in the summers, because it was my grandparents' lake house, now it's my aunt and uncle's lake house. But when we would go there in the summers, it would always be lying around there. And that was around a period of time when the Chucky movies were a thing. And my brother would have nightmares about Chucky. Like he'd leave the room when the commercials came on. And so we always tease him that the My Buddy doll looks like Chucky. So that's why whenever we go to the lake house for Thanksgiving, I always have to snap a picture of it and put it on my Facebook feed so it comes up on my brother's Facebook when he's looking through the updates.
Gators, this is what you do. You take the head off the My Buddy doll. And wait. And you get a couple of red LEDs and try to put them behind the eyes in the My Buddy. And then put something in there like something that turns them on or off or something with an app or something.
Oh, that would be too. Well, my brother has been going to the.
You could get. I mean, there are miniature versions of a Raspberry Pi that have limited functionality. Basically.
The Pi Zeros or the.
Yeah, well, not even that big.
Yeah.
There are things that are Arduino based that are tiny, less than an inch square. And all you're doing is telling it, oh, let's turn LED on and off, right? And you could get a little tiny sensor that is a motion sensor, so that when someone touches the doll, or bumps the doll or whatever,
or walks beside it,
it jiggles it, and it turns the lights on and off.
There you go. Just for visual reference, this is the creepy doll that Dune is referring to. That every time I go to the lake house, I always snap a picture of it on my Facebook feed.
That.
Yeah. We my cousins didn't have the kid sister.
Well, they used to take him to the playground. The kids did in the commercials.
Well, this my buddy. This my buddy had been put through a haircut.
I think a lot of them have.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with giving my buddy a haircut is it don't grow back. This ain't a Play-Doh factory.
Right. So how short is it?
More hair pops out.
Is it not? It's not shaved, right?
It's not shaved, but it's very. You could tell that there's less hair on there than there should be.
It's
Right.
Butch Buddy.
So
yeah, Butch
Buddy, Butch Buddy, Butch Buddy, Butch Buddy, wherever
Boy,
he
we-
Butch.
Could we be marketers?
We could.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I'm happy to say that my buddy is kept in the guest room that I was not sleeping in. My sister, her boyfriend, and their 3 dogs were in there. I believe the conversation that unfolded on this Facebook entry indicates that they put it in the cage with the dogs for the night.
Well,
So
And the dog didn't tear it apart?
apparently not.
you take the head off and put some beef jerky in there and put the head back on.
I think the dog. I think the dog's all huddled in a corner on the opposite side of the cage from
right.
it.
That's Chucky, man. That's Chucky.
It's looking at us.
Yeah, actually, one channel was, a week ago, was doing a kind of a marathon of the Chucky movies.
Yeah. Pluto was.
No, I'm
Pluto.
talking about one of the regular, like Sci-Fi Channel or I don't think it was AMC. I think it was one of the others. But
Now, going back to the whole secret marriage thing, Dune goes, no, I got this. Divorce bride and demand support. Boom! Phase 3.
Whoa.
Phase 3.
Whoa.
Profit. Phase 3, profit.
That's right. That's right.
No, I don't think that would work. But no, I did not. Now, I did not have a creepy buddy thing, and my sisters didn't have the porcelain dolls. My mom had the porcelain dolls, but I had an Alf doll, so there was that.
Oh well, hey, that's an action figure.
Well, no, it was a
scary.
stuffed. It was a stuffed creature.
Stuffed
I
animal.
remember that one.
Stuffed. I also had a pound purry way back when.
Oh.
A pound purry. Remember the pound
Yeah.
puppies?
Yeah, they have the pound purries.
No.
My sister had
Oh,
those.
so cat version of it.
Yeah, they came out with a cat version of the
Yeah, I
pound
don't-
puppies called the pound purries,
Yeah.
and that was the only cat my parents would let me have. So that was the thing. I always asked for a cat, and my parents would say, "Well, no, we can't have a cat because your dad's so allergic to them. He's always sneezing, the itchy eyes, everything. No, that's just can't be done." So they got me a pound purry for Christmas one year. So that was.
That works.
Damn, I wonder what happened to that.
Right, the lake house.
No,
It's probably
no.
Todd and my buddy.
I wonder what pound. You know what? I have not done this,
Are you
but I'm
Googling
going to
pound
do this.
purries?
I'm looking up pound purries on
Dude,
on
they have reissues,
eBay.
I bet.
Look
On-
at this,
on eBay.
Mars. Guess what?
What?
You want to bet he's going to push the button and buy one?
Well, only
no.
if his pound purry was Bondi Blue.
No, because I'm not even sure if I could recognize the same one I had, even if I think it was this one. So
You recognized it.
it might have been.
Buy it, man. $13.99, no big deal. What's the
I
shipping?
don't need this thing.
Yes, but your cats would love it. It could be their special friend.
I'm not sure this is the exact one I had. I know it was white and gray, but I don't. So yeah, this was the closest thing I had to a cat growing up. But let's
cats.
yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah, I think that might be the one. And I think I also had a mini pound puppy, and I would sometimes balance the mini pound puppy on the pound purry, and I had the Alf doll. But our dog Banshee made the Alf doll her bitch. So
Oh, Gordon had some
Tore
fun.
the thing up?
oh no,
No.
she didn't. She had a ritual. She would grab it in its mouth, fling it back and forth a bit, and then throw it across the room, and then she'd jump on top of it and grind away on it. And the fact that Banshee was a female did not
Grind
stop
away,
her.
Do you mean
I-
hump
Wow.
hump her?
Yeah.
Banshee was a hoe.
Banshee would hump the Alf doll. And
Yeah.
the fact that Banshee was a female and did not have the proper equipment for humping did not stop her.
Gators. Why did you not get this on Super 8?
We didn't have film at the time. I did get this on a still picture at some point, but that picture's long gone.
Gators.
Oh,
Honestly,
I don't know where that ended up.
If you upload that to Pornhub, that would have been hilarious right there.
I
Right there. That would have been the best thing in the world. You just say cat humps
man.
Alf, and people will be clicking on it. People click on it like crazy.
Dog humps out. Yeah, no,
Or dog humps Alf.
Dog
You know.
humps out. Yeah, No, we did
Or
not.
you be subtle about it. Hey, it's Wednesday.
Hey, it's
It's like Gordon gets a bitch right there. There you go.
Gordon is the bitch. Oh man, but yeah, it might be. No, that one's black and white, so I know it was gray and white. But
They had a white and brown one too with little brown spots.
I know it was like black. I'm pretty sure it was gray
Hey,
and
you know,
white.
Johnny, you don't have to get the exact one that you have.
Yes, he does. It's
There's-
not nostalgic.
No, he
unless it's the same
doesn't.
color.
Here's the thing. I'm not. When it comes to nostalgia, it's got to be the exact right thing. And when it comes to nostalgia, I would much rather have the original one that I had as a kid than to buy a replacement.
Well, of course, but you know, if you can't find it and it's not available, then
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
crapola.
I have no intent.
Boo hoo hoo.
Gators
I-
needs a brown purry with a 30-year-old funk on it.
I have no need for a pound purry. I don't need.
With the dog slobber still on it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Alf doll. Man, what happened to that?
Maybe that tore into pieces.
You know, and then I also had the Alf doll that had the cassette player built into it with the story time tapes.
Ruxpin Alf
Oh
version.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I still have the tapes for that, but I don't have the Alf anymore.
Oh, those are collector's items.
Now, Mod Pro is saying I bet Dune will buy one. No,
Wait,
no.
a pound purry or
Oh
an
yeah,
Alf?
yeah.
What do I need a pound purry for? I got the real thing here now, and that that's
Okay, but you need a new Alf.
not really.
The Gator's like, no, that's creepy.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. I
Peters,
think we beat that to death.
Did you buy have you bought the box set of Alf yet? A DVD or Blu-ray?
Well, the problem with the Alf DVDs are that the US DVDs use the syndicate versions that edit like 5 minutes out of each episode, but the foreign ones had the full episodes. And I downloaded. I helped someone back up a set of those, and then I watched them all. And after I watched them all, I didn't feel like watching them again, so I deleted them because really, Alf does not need a whole lot of repeated viewings. I mean, it's a fun nostalgic show, but I felt like I've watched it, I'm done. Although part of me kind of regrets not keeping a copy, but I could probably find that again if I need to. I could probably find a used set on Amazon for $10.
Punky Brewster. I see nothing of that either.
I never watched Punky Brewster. You know, the only I caught parts of the cartoon version on Saturday mornings.
Oh, that was horrible.
They used to have a cartoon Punky Brewster.
Yeah, because they had Glomer in it. I remember that show.
I never watched a full episode of it. I just remember there was a part of an episode where they were trying to do something that involved throwing coins through a window while there was a rainbow going to try to make someone think that there was a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. This makes no sense to me thinking back on it, and I'm sure I'm missing some details.
Wow,
in there.
Gators is on some good stuff then, just saying. No,
Whoever wrote that show was on some good stuff.
Gators, you could. Well, it was '80s. They were trying to do stuff. No, you can watch all Alf and a bunch of other stuff on Tubi and Crackle. They both have them. So if you go on there, you can find like, I think the Punky Brewster and Alf is on there. So
All right, I'm googling Punky Brewster cartoon Rainbow.
you're gonna find the intro to it, which was done by Cyndi Lauper.
No, it brings me Punky Brewster and Rainbow Bright VHS tapes.
The new Rainbow Bright sucks. You have to watch the original.
I remember there was an episode of Rainbow Bright where someone was controlling a mechanical version of Rainbow Bright that would glitch and get stuck every now and then.
Yeah.
Once again, that's just a
It was by Mercy.
segment of a cartoon that was on the TV on Saturday. I didn't put the TV on that channel. I didn't stay there and watch the whole thing. But yes, I did find the Punky Brewster cartoon opening.
Yeah. By the way, it's Cyndi Lauper, so it might be. That's Brandy.
Yeah. Ooh, mow, mow, pow, pow, pow.
That's
Similar. Close enough.
Meow Meow song was from the
I
Happy
know.
Days cartoon.
Well, yeah. Oh, and there's a little furry creature in the rainbow. Oh, so there was a rainbow involved in the show.
Yeah, he never got left behind. He was an orphan, just like Punky. He was one of a kind.
Oh, maybe that's why it was. I must have confused the rainbow with something else. Yeah, good drugs. So now was the TV show? Was the actual TV show Punky Brewster about some furry creature that lives in a rainbow as well?
No, was not in that. No, Punky Brewster was an orphan, and he would go. She got adopted, and she's nuts. And then he gave good life lessons, like don't hide in an old refrigerator in the junkyard. I wondered about that. Don't. Do
That sounds
baby.
like something that would have been better done in a cartoon form, because cartoons can survive that.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like the end of a G.I. Joe episode. And learning
PSAs?
is
Yeah.
half the battle. Don't go in fridges. Yeah.
No, Punky had that at the end too. I mean,
I think I saw something about that at the end of one of those types of cartoons.
Yeah.
But no. So you're telling me that the Punky Brewster cartoon has very little to do with the Punky Brewster TV show?
Yes.
Okay. No Glomer in the
No Glomer.
actual. Okay.
No. Brian
is
He's a
completely
dog.
bored at this point.
What is he playing?
No,
is he playing
I
GTA? Did
am
you finish the
trying
demo?
to share a screen.
Did you finish your
Okay.
demo, Brian?
What?
Did you finish the demo? The intro?
He can't get the thing to open.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's probably updating it. It's all right. Don't worry.
No, we're
It's all good. So, to bring something really quick back to where I went and got my booster the other day
Okay.
in a Safeway.
In a safe way. Okay.
In a Safeway, I had to go back to the back, and they go, "Oh yeah, here, give me your arm." Bam.
Wow.
And then they gave me 20. Then they gave me a 20% off discount of $200 worth of groceries. So I use that too.
So
Okay, so do you see my? Are you seeing my shared screen?
So Brian, you found your new shirt. So
I thought you would want this shirt.
yeah.
Oh, shoot.
It's bad enough I have the Dickens Cider shirt.
Oh my God. I know he's not wearing that one to work.
That was great. Kristen gave me a T-shirt that had said on it, "There's nothing like a Dickens cider," with kind of a Dickens fruit stand type of and I opened this gift, and my dad reads the shirt out loud, and everyone starts laughing. And it took him a moment. He's like, "Is that some kind of a joke?" And
Yeah,
my
it
God.
totally is. Here's
Yes.
the link, and if in case anybody wants to buy this shirt,
it's only $22, and they have multiple shirts. And
That's
I
right.
think they come in different sizes, probably too. Yeah, that is totally a shirt. Brian's decided we've seen enough of that.
no, well, we don't need to see any more, right?
I think we saw enough of
We're
that.
done.
Dune says WTF, and Bob Bro's laughing. So there you go. That could be yours. Brian, you got to buy that, and then you got to wear it, and then you got to film your wife's reaction.
Well, let's see. Did I? I think. Let me see.
Are you actually going to buy that?
Why? Fucking Norton is bugging me again.
Fuck that guy.
Let me see what sizes are available. Come on.
He's considering this. This is not. We've not ruled this out.
Wow, you guys are such impulse buyers. I don't click on links during the show. You notice that? I know better. Because I will buy crap.
It says new with tags. What kind of a big deal is that?
Well, that way it's not used.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe people might be concerned that someone wore it while eating.
Okay. So, and what is S dash? Oh, okay. It's a range. S dash 3XL.
Yeah, that's a range.
Where do
from
you
small to-
select the size, dumbass?
You get somewhere between small and a triple XL. That's what you get.
Or you have
Right.
to say
Random.
that in the comments when you buy it.
Yeah, it's random.
Yeah, you probably have to. Let's read the instructions here because I've got the thing up. Alf T-shirt, condition is new with tag, ships USPS first class. Stay right there. We will be right back because if you don't, I'll eat your cat. Ha! Leave a note to request your size or message me directly.
Well, you didn't have what? Two stomachs?
He had multiple stomachs. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember he
Alf
was
did?
depressed one time. He sitting in
Yeah.
the bathtub looking at a cat.
Yeah, like I remember there was an episode where he stayed with because there was towards the later seasons Jim J. Bullock played the character of Willie's brother, and I think he like moved into the area, so he was kind of an extra there as often. And
They were
there's
both on Hollywood Squares together.
yes they were, because he was also Monroe on Too Close for Comfort, and so there was an
That
episode.
Shadow Stevens.
So there was an episode where Alf was, causing too much trouble around the Tanner's house, and Alf decided, I want out of here. And so he goes to stay at Neil's place. That's Jim J. Bullock's character on the show. Is stay with him in his apartment. And Neil likes Alf. Neil's a pretty naive, fun-going, easygoing guy, so they get along well. But it's one thing to be friends with Alf. It's another thing to have Alf live it in your apartment. And I think
I never watched Alf.
you never. Oh, you got to watch some Alf.
I knew it was on, whatever, but it just had no interest to me. I was probably too old.
No,
So here's the funny thing. At the time we got that server, Alf, right? We had all these servers that were named after seven dwarfs, including one called the Princess, right? It should have been Snow White, but they decided to use Princess instead. We got a new server and we named it Alf because
Right.
the IT director, who has probably got 10 years on me, decided he loved that as a server name. I don't know if he was really into the show or whatever.
Why did you put Alf and age related? There's no age that goes with Alf. You can watch it any age. It was
Yeah,
a prime time.
I just didn't get into it.
It was a family show. Now,
Sure,
Dune writes
sure.
in he needs to go to a Blackbeard diner in that shirt, and then writes in that Waffle House would not care. And Mob Pro suggests going to Hooters with that shirt.
There was a Hooters in Dublin, California, which is just
There
down
was.
the
They
road
shut
from
that
us.
down.
And that's gone, completely gone.
Yeah.
Well, there's one in San Fran, isn't there?
I don't know.
I don't know if that one's still there either.
I
Huh.
wonder if that chain is gone.
I know the one in Fremont died. It went away.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
sure
wonder
you can
if that's
find
full
plenty of
name.
places to wear that shirt, Brian. So we look forward
Yeah,
to
right,
lots of
yeah.
video footage of you going to all your local hangouts with that shirt.
I tell you, I'm going to hit the buy button, and when I get it, I'll be wearing it on the show.
Yeah. What, Inside Out?
Or all the logo information is on the back. Like this shirt,
Yeah.
this is my whale shirt, and it's all on the back.
That would be fun to wear it
I would
backwards.
spin around, but the chair has a back to it, so you still wouldn't see it.
I mean, I imagine you walk by, you wave to someone, they wave back, they kind of see out of the corner of their eye the back of your shirt, do a double take as you're walking away.
Right.
Dune writes in, we had a doofus IT peep in California that named a drive the Jupiter Drive because it was big.
Oh.
I see nothing wrong with this. Well, that's okay. Tharco did not have professional Wi-Fi access points. Tharco had for Wi-Fi literally 2 of those blue Linksys home routers with the antennas that came off the end of them.
Yeah.
One on.
I have one of those.
Yeah, they had They had 2 of them configured identically on opposite ends of the building, and they barely reached the middle. And really, the truth of the matter was
this within the warehouse, though?
No, not in the warehouse. This was in the office. This was basically for Marvin to be able to use his laptop in the executive conference room or in the IT conference room.
They need to update the antennas on those things.
Basically, Marvin had his laptop, and he would meet in the executive conference room down that end of the building, or he'd meet in the IT conference room on the other end. So either end of the building had these Linksys routers, and not only were these two Linksys routers configured identical to each other, the guy who my Fong replaced, I believe he configured the Linksys router that Marvin had at his house to be identical to those two routers. So that Marvin's laptop, if he configured it to connect to the Wi-Fi router in the office when he got it home,
it would just connect.
Right, because at some point something went wrong with that router, and he brought the router to me and said, "This stopped working. It needs to be." It needs to be set up to be the same as the ones in the office. And I'm like, I have no. And the Wi-Fi, the wireless network name was Skynet.
Yeah. So that was Gary Gwynn set it up, right?
Oh, Gary set it up then. Oh, I thought it was.
I'm only guessing because that sounds like him.
Okay.
Or wait a minute. Or
well, who did my Fong replace?
Or was it
the guy who left when my Fong got promoted and I got hired? Who was that? I met him once at your at your going away get together at the Hot Pot. But I don't remember what that guy's name was.
So,
I still can't think
Brian,
of who that would have been.
You know what you really need to do? You need to wear that Alp shirt at a PF Chang's.
Oh, that's awful for multiple reasons.
Exactly.
But not only did they name the wireless network Skynet, I believe the password to get into the router, which I had to figure out by looking around in text documents, it was some variation of the phrase "kill all humans."
I love that. I love a nice phrase like that.
So yeah, we had Skynet, and the worst thing about it was that as we got sold to Boise and then PCA, other executives came into our office expecting a Wi-Fi network that just worked in the building, and it's like, we got two home routers on either ends of the building that kind of work, and they would always meet in the main conference room in the middle of the building. And that
it wouldn't work there.
No. As soon as you walked past the doors, the signal went down to 1 bar, and it was non-existent by the time you got to a table in there. So I was always like,
in our end of the building where IT was, where was that? There was a router in our area?
I have no idea where it was physically located. I think it may have been in. You know what? It may have been in the server room, up on a shelf somewhere.
Oh, which would be yet another set of concrete walls between there and
it had very.
Wi-Fi does not do well in cinder block.
This was basically set up to let Marvin use his laptop in two locations away from his desk, and then people started complaining that our Wi-Fi was shit, and it's like, well, it's because we don't have Wi-Fi. We have two wireless routers that were set up for a guy that's not here anymore. But because then all these people would come in with their laptops in the conference room, and no one would think to tell us anything.
It would make sense,
if
you had one of those in the place, in the office, in not customer service, but the sales office, where Susan sat. Because the salesman could come in, they connect up to Wi-Fi.
Well, they all had docking stations that were all wired.
Yeah, but no, the guys that didn't have an office. I mean, Nick P would never use it. Right? He's got a wire. The sales guy, Nick P.
Right. Yeah, he was always in his office.
He was always in his office. So wire, man. But,
well, they all had desks though, and all the desks had docks.
Not all of them. Not all of them. There were a bunch of guys that came in once a year, and for a sales meeting or something.
Yeah, but there were cubes in the sales area that had network ports, and I was always able to get them a wire. And also,
exactly. Yeah.
And perhaps the server room wireless access point may have reached Susan's desk. It may have reached there. It definitely didn't reach the main conference room. The point is that all these guys have come in to meet in the main conference room. No one ever did anything about Wi-Fi in there or even told us that this was needed. So then it always became my problem that we have a room full of vice presidents that are all trying to use their laptops that can't fix it. Then my morning was...
If you knew where the Wi-Fi router was, you just pulled the thing out and put it in the conference room.
Yeah. So basically...
If you knew where it was.
So basically, I would get like a mini switch and a bunch of network cables, and I'd be in the middle of the room running cables to the switch and running cables to every laptop around this table, making a mess of wires everywhere, looking like an idiot in a room full of vice presidents. So that was always fun.
Nobody had suggested this before.
No one, but Shane put a lot of work into that conference room, making it look good, including a framed PCA logo on the wall. He didn't put any Wi-Fi in that room, but he sure made it look good. Dune writes in, I used to keep an access point in my bag for years. He's no fool.
Isn't that what your phone is for now, as hotspot?
Dune, that's what the security guy is looking for. The security guy is walking around the building looking for the rogue people that brought their own wireless routers that they're plugging in their offices and go, get that shit out of here. What are you what are you doing?
The good old day when that thing that was in your bag was a modem.
Yeah. Or there
was a guy at the bomb plant that I worked at that brought in a modem and connected the secure servers to it.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
First time he got caught, they slapped him on the wrist. Second time he got caught, they went to his place and they found stacks of tapes and all this kind of crap. It's like, why is this here? Well, anyway, that was his last day.
That would be. Yeah. No, that's not good.
So how much data do the Russians have? Who knows?
I don't know. They might have not known it was there either, so it might be fine. But
and I never met the guy. I just heard the story.
Well, that's okay. The ATM machines at the bank I work for used to keep their backups on 3.5-inch floppy disks. And one day, the deposit ops department brought us a box of like 500 floppy disks and said, we don't know how to dispose of these properly. So me and my coworker spent a day poking holes in them and chucking them into a waste paper basket we propped up on the other side of the room and keeping score.
Good punch the media so it's not readable.
Right. We punch a hole in the media. Now, of course, that's probably not considered a secure way to dispose of them because the magnetic platter still contains some data. I have never tried to restore magnetic data off of a punctured floppy disk.
Yeah, that would be difficult. Yeah.
No, but if you bring that to a forensics lab, they might be able to get something off of that, perhaps, in theory.
Right.
I doubt it, but any security person's not going to leave room.
My favorite thing is you get a hard drive, with platters, and you take a spike and you put the spike through it and you hear the platters shattering. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I just take it apart, take the rare earth magnets out.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Dune pointing out exactly one of the things. A rogue router can F up a site bad. Some will start issuing 192 addresses that are unusable.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, you know what could happen? Actually, I was working at the bank, and this is a story about how I learned something about switches. Because the desk I was sitting at used to be my coworker's desk, and he moved over to the bigger desk, and I moved into his small desk. And in the corner behind my desk was this extra switch that was there, and we used that to be able to image new desktops because we had semantic ghost and we could do ghost cast over the network. And so
Ghost was my bitch.
and
Ghost.
and this switch was kind of a mess of wires behind my desk. So
Can you still get semantic ghost?
No, they changed it. I don't think it's around anymore, is it?
It still works, but I don't think they make current
you
versions
get a new
of it.
copy of it. I think it's
I don't.
gone.
I don't think so. I don't know what that is even now. Software like it still exists.
LifeLock bought Semantic to
Right.
get Norton, and you have Norton Utilities and you have the Norton 360 or whatever this thing is called. But I haven't seen anything suggest that Ghost still exists.
Yeah, I don't.
Ghost is Enterprise, wasn't it?
I know. Yeah,
I don't
Ghost is
recall.
Enterprise, Norton's home, but I don't know if that was spun off to another company or what. But I know that
we'll have to.
I mean, Microsoft basically would have you not clone images the way you used to anymore. It's now all about building an imaging task or process based off of packages rather than making a literal bit-for-bit clone of a machine. But those software still exist, like Acronis. I mean, the ImageX command still exists in Windows, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some version of Ghost still around. But anyways, the point is the switch was behind my desk, and it was kind of a mess of wires because that's the way it was when I inherited it, and I added more wires to it and made it more of a mess. And one day, it all started with a phone call from someone that his email stopped coming in. And it's like, okay, one call comes in, you assume it's one person, you start looking at their computer, and their computer's acting weird, and it's getting weirder as it goes. And then a second call comes in that their email's not working, and then the third call comes in, but not everyone's calling, so it's still like, okay, it's a group of people. Well, my email's and then all of a sudden, no one's email is working, and nothing's working, and at some point, my coworker said, "Hey, Jonathan, you didn't happen to mess with the wires on that switch back there?" I was like, well, I was imaging some computers when I got interrupted. And he goes, oh, I've done this before. I think you plugged the switch into itself. And sure enough, I somehow got my wires mixed up. And yeah, if you plug, like you take one wire and you plug both ends into the same switch, that'll make some kind of an awful network version of a feedback loop that will start slowly and then escalate and completely bring down your whole fucking network.
And the first thing I would have done is I would looked at all the wires and fixed them and actually used some like cable ties and
believe me, after this happened, I did that because
I'm like, dude, no. Mm-mm.
And Dune's writing in, OMG, no. Well, here's the thing. I did that a second time, but it was a very different way of doing that. And I got to tell this story.
Yeah.
So Crestron makes video presentation hardware. And what you basically can have if you're in a conference room is you could have these two Crestron boxes. And the one box is mounted under the table somewhere, and that's your transmitter. And that basically will input video. Usually it's got VGA input, it's got HDMI input, so that you can connect your VGA and HDMI cables to this box and have them on the table there. And that will basically take the your video that's being sent out of your laptop and turn that into a data stream, and it sends it over a network cable. But it's not a network. Like it sends it over an RG6 cable. Yeah. And the RG6 cable will go, under the floor, up the wall, behind the TV. And then the TV has the second Crestron box, which is called a scaler. And the scaler takes that data from the RG6 and scales it to the proper resolution for the TV. So that way, and I'm like, dude, just put a fucking HDMI cable in there and call it a day. All the laptops have HDMI port. Well, this allows, you to adapt different resolutions and never come up with any resolution conflicts or problems or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is some salesman excuse to sell you a bunch of boxes, but whatever, they had it all. And they all could be maintained by networking into them. But in order to network into them, to tweak the settings or restart them or troubleshoot them remotely, they all had to be networked. Well, a transmitter and a scaler both have network jacks on them. But the catch is you only can connect one of them to the network. Because if you connect both the scaler and the transmitter to the network at the same time, that is the equivalent of plugging in a switch to itself, because they both share the network connection off the other. So if you connect them both to network, and I did that accidentally when I was in one of the conference rooms working at the contract job at Analog Devices here, and the call starts coming in with the email not working, and then a few more calls come in, and then everyone's computer stopped working. I'm like, this feels familiar. I think
that happened to Tharco once before you were around.
Yeah, no, I never did this at Tharco.
Might have been Gary Gwynn.
Few people have made that mistake. That mistake happens at least once every place.
Probably.
Yeah, but yeah.
So anyway, I was reading the Wikipedia. That's the link. When Symantec bought Norton, they changed the name of the product from Norton Ghost to Symantec Ghost and back and forth and whatever horse shit. And now it's owned by Broadcom.
Okay, it makes sense that's still around because that's been such a widespread used.
Sure.
The thing I always found weird about it is the way the licensing works is completely unenforceable. Because here's the thing, every place and every time I've used Ghost, it's always been a case of here's the software, and I would use the software to take an image of a computer, and I deploy it to a bunch of other computers, and that was that. And I thought we just had the license to use the software, and that was that. But no, you're actually supposed to buy a license for every machine that you image. And
assholes.
And there are two ways you can buy licensing. You can either buy a full license for every machine on your network, which then means you could image any computer in your network as many times as you want to, or you can buy disposable licenses, which I always call the paper cup dispenser license, because every time you image a computer, it eats a license. And then, if you buy 100 licenses and you've deployed an image 100 times on your machines, then you got to buy another, set of paper cups to put in your cup dispenser to continue.
Now, let me ask you this: is there a Linux solution? If you want to partition a hard drive, and you're doing something more complicated than what Windows can do, you go out and get GIMP or Gparted. I mean, right?
Well, that's
Gparted is the tool you use for partitioning.
So I
can't imagine you can't easily come up with a way to image. With a Unix-based, a Linux-based solution.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is I don't understand why anyone buys Ghost anymore. Because back in when Vista launched, Microsoft also created the ImageX tool, which is command line based.
Sure.
And you have to figure out how to install the automated installation kit and create and generate a Windows PE boot disk and put the ImageX tool on there. But essentially, once you figure out how to do that, it does everything that Ghost can do, and it's free. Free.
Sure,
absolutely free. And that's what I did at Tharco. But
sometimes people like a professional. I could pay the guy, and if it goes wrong, I can sue the guy.
I see. Dune writes in, so it's free? Yes. Now, the Windows licenses for the computers that you deploy the image to, those are not free. But the tool that lets you clone and deploy the images, Microsoft makes a lot of free shit to use with their expensive shit. Anyways. So this week, you got to work on your driving skills. You got to, we got to get you online. We got to get you. Now, I still have not opened up the Doom, which thank you for the Christmas gift. Brian gifted me as a Christmas gift a copy of Doom from Steam. And that is, I've installed it. I just haven't launched it yet. So I will.
That's cool. I mean, it's very classic. I mean, it was on sale for $5. So what the hell?
Is it like a port of the original Doom, or is it a remastering? Well, I'm going to launch it now.
It's a port.
Well, I'm going to see what it is. We'll find out right here. and if I get it into a windowed mode, I'll share the window. But I'm starting it up right now. Ooh, fancy logo graphics. So there we go. So yeah, copyright 2016. Okay, but still, Doom is classic. I've played a lot of Doom in my time.
Oh, you have. So yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I noticed also it's more money though. They have Unreal Tournament, and I don't know if there's a server available for that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I liked that the best.
You could always spin up your own server and have a LAN party. And in fact, I knew some guys that did that.
Well, back in the day, I had people all across the U.S. that were running, looking for aliens with SETI, right? And our group got together and each got copies of Unreal Tournament. You could get it for free for Linux. And there was a free Linux server available. So it's like, okay, who has the best network access? Let's find someone that will set up a Linux server. So one person did. We didn't have the fastest internet access, but it was workable. And we found a bunch of mods to play. The fun one that I liked was you were like in a house, but you're like, 3 inches tall, so you're looking at these huge furniture pieces. So you're jumping from one piece of furniture to another. And the bathroom was cool too.
That's cool.
You jump to the toilet, and then you jump back to the sink.
All right, there we go. I've got my window open. Of course, now I need to get my mouse to pop out from the window. The mouse is acting really funky on this game. Can't get... Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I can share it. So now we can see what Brian bought me. And Mars is back. And
hey, Mars.
Sorry, my USB came out.
Oops.
Did you plug it into itself?
I should have. I needed a little more. I needed a little bit of a Mobius loop there going on with USB.
There we go. Yeah, that would do it.
Oh, incidentally, I was reading a bunch on USB because now I'm going to get into USB-C. Thank you, Apple. And in the description, you have a USB-A and USB-B. And it's purposely sent that way so you can't plug into itself, basically.
Brian, I've been using USB-C way before Apple even touched it.
Well, this is the first device that I have that has it, so I'm new at it. So I had to read on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's cool.
That works.
Because I'm an iPhone guy.
Oh, you're one of those. I'm joking. No,
that's fine.
And don't worry. The iPhone 14 will probably be USB-C or no port at all, one of the two.
All right, so we're gonna. Oh, so this looks like it's something high. It's I don't know if it's a
resolution. Yeah,
it's not. It's not a port of the old version. It could be a remastering.
They redid Doom completely.
Oh. Is it a completely new game, or is it a remastering of?
Well, it's a new game.
Oh, okay,
but
it's
not. The premise is the same. You go around and shoot things.
But it's new levels.
New resolution.
Yeah.
New levels,
See, it's a
new
different
remaster,
screen. You're in this
something like that. Yeah.
Computer center or something.
Because sometimes they'll take a game and they'll take the old maps and the old layout and they'll just all new graphics. So this is just a new game. Okay. Yeah. Well, cool.
It's still cool. It's still fun to.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. Okay. All right. We gotta shoot. I'm first person, and my controls are a little wonky because my mouse and my controller are fighting, and I am dying, and this gun is not killing anything.
You better go.
Yeah, you have to hit the guy several times. If you figure out how to switch guns, I think it's the upper right.
You need the chain gun. That's what you need. Or the plasma rifle. Plasma rifle helps.
I need like a first aid kit or something.
Oh, the little first aid kits. Now I don't know if there's secret rooms like there was. You go in the, you remember the, or you put in in your god mode.
Which-
and you go
which,
through walls
uh,
and stuff. I remember that.
Which
Very-
level you're playing? Are you playing Kill Me,
Hurt me plenty,
Did-
I think.
Hurt Me Plenty? Yeah. And then there's one, Please Don't Hurt Me or something or other. I forget what it is.
Yeah, that's what I usually play.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
there's the,
At least you want to get out of the first room, right?
I would like to, but I can't figure out how to open the door.
you have to touch.
Oh, there is a
everything.
button someplace. I forget. You have to
Oh.
wander around and crash into. Yeah, like I do it like that. I think you hit the A button to select it.
Well, the A button makes me jump.
But when you're standing
press
at the thing,
RS.
oh,
Oh,
RS.
there we go. RS, the right stick. Oh, that made a
Shoot
ghost
him,
walk
shoot him,
into the
shoot him.
room.
Oh, it's a ghost.
He don't care that I'm shooting him.
Yeah, you need a new gun.
Contain this.
Okay. Oh, that opened up the door. Okay, so now we got a bunch of candles. Yeah,
And then there's a door that goes outside.
right stick just makes me punch things now.
Yeah, punching it doesn't help.
Yeah, punching the door doesn't
Yeah,
open
I don't
it.
think you're. Oh. Probably hurts the hand more.
It's not my hand. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
And for some reason it thinks that the mouse is continually pointing down. So it's making that's messing with my controller. I gotta fix the controls on this, but this is gonna be cool.
You don't have a controller to use rather than a mouse.
Well, I'm using a controller, but the mouse
okay.
also seems to play with it. So both controls, it thinks it's getting input from the mouse, even though the mouse is doing nothing. So that's making it. That's why I look like I'm walking around drunkenly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to now. Yeah. Let's. That was a fun experiment. And we'll figure out the controls later. It's probably because I'm running it and doing so many things at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
So Doom writes in, wasn't there many cap lock emails about that to MS? Well, I did send Microsoft some feedback on their website pointing out.
Feedback.
Well, their official instructions had something incorrect in the syntax of one of the commands, to the point that the training book that I had a PDF of that I taught myself how to do this from, I had to put a note on that page of the PDF book of what the real command is. And I had to figure out what was wrong with the command, why it wasn't working. And that's really frustrating when you have an official training book that was based off of official Microsoft documentation. And it has a typo in it that means that you're trying to learn something and you're following the instructions step by step and you get an error. And you have to figure out how to teach the book how to do it so that the book could teach you how to do it. So when I found that same error on Microsoft's website in their, on their documentation on their page, yeah, I filled out that support. And there may have been some cap locks on that thing, but I also really wanted, I probably sent it in once polite and then like a month later sent it in cap lock because I didn't fix it. Because I really wanted them to fix it. Because that's a problem. And that's a problem that's going to impact a lot of people. That already had impacted a lot. In fact, they fix it on their site. It doesn't fix all the books that have already been published with this error in it. So, yeah, I was really pissed about that. But they never fixed it. But I had my note in my copy. So, that's all I could do. Anyways, we need to start thinking about when Brian gets back here, who we're going to raid. Because we've reached the top of the hour, and so we're going to take a look at what's going on the Twitch sites here.
What's going on Twitch?
Yeah. Well, Pizza Princess G is playing The Sims. Who is that? How did I end up following her? I'm not
Pizza and Princess and G in it.
Yeah, I don't remember following this account though, but that's cool. I haven't played The Sims 4. I've only played up to The Sims 3. Nick had nothing good to say about The Sims 4, so I never checked it out. Me Nina Music, we've rated her recently. Alenka Cello is playing her synth cello again. Sessions is playing. Let's see, we got... Who else we got?
Momo on? Because you definitely need to rate her.
Oh, Momo. She comes on in the mornings. I wish Momo was on right now. Kiara Kitty is on, of course. But I think she has enough viewers. But, yeah, let's take a look at a few of these channels and see who we're going to... usually I go towards the bottom of the list. And, near the bottom... in the music, we got Sessions and Alenka. So maybe we'll head over to one of them. Now, let's see. Sessions is recording some audio NFTs on Cypher. So
NFTs are always the best thing, of course, right? Everybody
so we're not going to raid that because,
You could just... You know what? So it can hit record on Twitch, and then you would have your audio NFT. And how special would that be?
I'm gonna rip my own NFT. We got. I think we'll rate Alenka because it's always fun to watch an electrified cello. So that is, cool. I think But before we do that, we do have to once again just go over all the wonderful things here. So let me bring up the right thing. So once again, thank you everyone for listening to a fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
But we do try to be educational here. So, Brian, what have you learned today?
I'd have to think about it. Today's Wednesday. Wait.
It is? No, it's Monday, sir.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday was the old show.
Oh, why don't I pass? Go ahead, it's your turn now.
How did your mind get into a Wednesday mode?
That's a great question.
I mean, this show is about like the one constant you have. I mean, because Tuesday is retirement, Wednesday is retirement, Thursday is retirement, Friday is retirement, Saturday, Sunday is retirement, and then Monday is the show. That's like the one day you could get right.
The one day, yeah.
Oh, Gators, you used to be on Wednesdays.
Way back when in the day.
Way back when.
Okay. Brian has decided instead of going forward in time as things get worse, he's rewinding to try to get back in time.
That's because it's the short-term memory shit that goes first.
Yeah.
The long-term memory, hey, it's Wednesday.
Well, maybe he's trying the whacked out thing and trying to go back in time.
Your short-term memory stopped working on a Wednesday, so every day is a Wednesday now.
I was thinking of your dog, and that's and Alf, right? Wednesday, hump day.
Oh, yeah.
Insert title here.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So you learned that when Wednesday is hump day, it means a whole different thing.
Whole different
for the
thing.
dog and the alpha.
Yes.
And Mars, what have you learned this week?
I learned you accidentally just ordered 35-pound furries on eBay.
I don't think I did that. And I learned that Brian has some experimenting to do with some new fashion stylings with some t-shirt purchases. And I learned that I need to start finding puttering motor sound effects for a new
insert title here
name that will get inserted, perhaps. Although we're still waiting for the feedback. ModPro,
hit or miss.
ModPro also confirming that it's Monday, just in case we.
Hey, thanks, ModPro.
So.
It's not Mod Amateur, it's Mod Pro.
Mod Pro. Mod's a pro. And for a moment, I thought Mod Pro was a 21-year-old female because I was a little confused. Well, Mod Pro was nice enough yesterday to point out that the weather in her area was 21 degrees Fahrenheit. But when she typed in 21F, I thought she was trying to pick up people in the chat room.
Were you asking for ASL on freaking, the chat room? ASL.
See, Bars, you would have thought the same thing.
ASL.
In the gutter.
Oh, poor Mod Pro.
It's like, hey, we got a 21-year-old female in the house. There we go. But no, Bond is, hey, 30 is the new 21, right? Isn't that what they?
Right.
Yeah. No, I wish I was 30. The 30s were good. You still got all 10 of them to look forward to.
Yeah.
Or 9.5. But. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to raid Alenka now. So let me go type that command in there, and we will send you over there. And we will be back here next week, same time, same place. Maybe Brian will have learned how to drive a little bit, and we might get to play a little Grand Theft Auto. I bought a sub. So, Brian, when we get you online, I get to invite you into my submarine and show you around. And,
Cool.
And we can run our missions out from there. And
Cool.
I think I'm really looking forward to all the humor that's going to come from trying to do heists with Brian.
Are we going to be...
Because I'm not that good.
Use the submarine to deliver cocaine or something?
No, we're going to use the submarine to raid an island that some rich dude owns and get into his vault and steal his... steal some papers he has.
Marriage
papers.
counseling in a submarine.
And there might be... No, it's not. All right, we're going to send you off to Alenka, and enjoy, and we'll be back next week. See ya.
Bye.
All right, there we go. We have raided.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the...
I'm just doing live and let die.
Oh, I think she was playing this when I saw her once before.
Yeah, I think she's... this is probably a popular one on her list.
Yeah.
Probably, a request list. All right,
Yeah.
I'll catch y'all later.
All right, have a good week.
You too?
All right.
Bye.
See you, Mars. See you, Dune. See you, everybody.